Hello, my name is Richard Boucher, Technical Product Manager here at NS1. Today, I'd like to run you through a quick demonstration of the sample dashboard that's provided to you as part of the DNS Insights. This dashboard is a great example to get you started exploring the wealth of data provided by DNS Insights. So let's jump into it. First off, this dashboard is actually available for download on the Grafana website. So all you need to do is on the community website, search for DNS Insights, and you'll find the ID for the dashboard, and you can download it into your Grafana instance. So let's jump into it. So one of the key concepts as we get started here is the concept of policies. And you'll see this in the menu here at the top left. And you'll have one or more choices in this depending on how your environment's set up. But essentially, you can think of a policy as a filter or of a query for your environment. And by default, you'll have at least one which actually shows you all of the traffic in your environment for all your DNS traffic. But you might have additional ones with specific filters or specific views. You could think of one for just your NX domain traffic, or you might have one to view just specific Q name suffix traffic, so associated with a specific one of your domains. But for our purposes today, let's kind of use the all-purpose kind of all traffic, and let's kind of dive into the dashboard. So there's a wealth of data available in these dashboards, but I'm going to kind of highlight some of the really key points to get you started. So the first thing is at the top here is the reporting pops. That gives you an indication of where this actual data is coming from. So we actually have 25 pops that are instrumented around the world and that are currently providing data to the dashboard. And you can actually, through this traffic distribution chart, see where that traffic is coming from geographically. And you could also filter on that if you only wanted to look at traffic coming from specific geography. So that gives you that ability to narrow down the traffic based on where it's located all around the globe. After that, we kind of give you high-level numbers, understanding, what is your average QPS? What is the total query volume over the period of time of the report? In this case, it's 1 hour. And then we get into really the nitty-gritty of it, understanding, of all that traffic, how is it behaving? So we will give you things like the response error code distribution. You'll see further charts in this in the dashboard that will actually give that to you over time as well. We'll show you, what are the different query types that are being requested. So in this case, we can see that it's environment that's mostly A records with mostly after that quad A's, and then a sparkling of other query types. And this obviously will depend on your environment, but this is often helpful to understand the distribution of the types of DNS traffic that you're serving. When we kind of drill down from there, then we get into the details of the most active Q names or Q name suffixes. So those domains in your that you're under management for your account, which ones are actually receiving the highest levels of volume, both as a kind of a raw account as well as a distribution over time. We also provide details on the response codes or the error codes, depending on how you want to call them. And this is often a very, very popular set of metrics because they give you visibility into of the traffic that's failing or that's in error. What is that traffic? What are the query names that are being requested, and what are the error codes that NS1 is providing back? And one of the very popular ones is NX domain, which for this environment is actually blank. There are no NX domain responses that was observed during this report period. But for many environments, this is an important metric. But there are also important metrics such as refused and no error, no data that can also be useful in understanding your environment and tuning your DNS configurations. From there, we get into details around traffic details, and this will give you things like understanding the distribution of your traffic, how much of your DNS traffic is UDP versus TCP, or how much is IPv4 versus IPv6. And then as we go down, we get into some things that are often of great interest to many customers because they're interested in understanding where is the traffic coming from, who's actually generating all this DNS traffic. And the first part of it is understanding the resolver. So who is actually making the request on behalf of the end user? And so we'll give you the top IPv4 resolvers, the top IPv6 resolvers, as well as their geolocations and ASNs of where they're originating from. And similarly, for that set of traffic that actually supports eDNS client subnet, and for those who aren't familiar with that, that's the idea of embedding the source client subnet of the requesting client in the DNS request, we'll give you, again, a breakdown of the top IP address subnets, the top geolocations, and the top ASNs. We'll also give you a distribution of how much traffic actually does contain that ECS information. So in this case, it's only a very, very small, essentially 1% of the traffic actually includes that, but your distribution will vary depending on, again, on your environment, and actually it varies actually greatly around the world. So I know this has been kind of a whirlwind tour of this dashboard, but hopefully that gives you kind of a quick sense of the depth of data that's actually available through DNS Insights. And remember, this dashboard is just an example. You can start using it as a starting point to build your own, particularly tailored to your own use cases. So I would suggest you check out the DNS Insight pages on the NS1 Help Center for more information. Thank you, and have great fun dashboarding.